Recently, I was talking with a close colleague of mine about structural poverty in America and how Gen Z right now is having a very hard time climbing out of the poverty hole. Not only Gen Z actually, the previous generation is also in bad situation right now. Many businesses in America are starting to become unstable. And I truly think, I believe that if I had to start over from zero again at this time, I'm pretty sure I could do it. But the effort, the time will be much greater. Because let's be real for a second. Running a business today, it's not like some motivational Instagram reel. It's not fairy tale. It's a bloody battlefield. You hear all these bullshit influencers talk like just start a brand, Shopify, print on demand, get rich in 3 months. Yeah, probably that might work before COVID. Back when Facebook ads were cheap, attention wasn't fractured, and you could definitely sell t-shirts from your garage and become a millionaire. But today, in this situation right now, in this chaos, margins are razor thin. You're competing with AI, Amazon, China, TikTok dropshippers, and a consumer base that's either buried in credit card debt or can't even afford rent. Your customers, most are just trying to survive the way. Some can't even feed their damn families. Madness. It's all absolute madness. America is not alright right now. And America is not right anymore. It's not fine anymore. Now, the boomers always say like, Gen Z and millennial are just lazy. They don't want to work. They want everything fast. Shut the bloody hell up. We've been through more economic trauma before turning 40 than any single generation in modern history. The 2001 dot-com bubble burst, tech world collapse, 9/11, the world changed overnight, 2008 financial collapse, bank got bailed out, ton of family lost their homes, 2019 COVID, business shutdowns, entire industry wiped out, and now, right now, you guys facing layoffs, record inflation, global war tensions, AI disrupting white-collar jobs faster than anyone can blink. We've taken more punch from the economy than Tyson gave in his bloody prime. And guess what? We're still standing, fighting for our futures, fighting for our freedom, and fighting for what we believe the American dream. Now, think a second, because what truly pisses me off is that, let me ask you something. How hard was it to make $1 million in the 60s, 70s, or even the bloody 90s? Think about it for a second. The grind was there for sure. The long nights, the sacrifice, the hustles. But here's the punch to the face. $1 million back then is not the same as $1 million today. Let me show you what I mean. Back in the 80s, if you had $1 million, you could buy a luxury home in a nice neighborhood, get a couple of cars, take your kid to college, and still have enough for a comfortable retirement. But today, that same million might get you just a 2-bedroom condo in a city where you pay $6 for a coffee and get nothing but traffic and anxiety. And forget about retirement, let's not think too far, because you're gonna be working till your knees give out. So yeah, the hustle's still there, but the bloody reward? It's shrinking by day. And what changed? One word. Inflations. That invisible tax, that silent thief. It's not just a number they flash on CNBC. It's not 2% or 3% or whatever bullshit they try to downplay it as. It's theft. It's the government, the central bank, the institutions. They're slowly draining the value out of your money, out of your labor, out of your bloody futures. And the worst part, nobody talks about it. You guys so busy scrolling TikTok that your brain start to melt. Because they bloody normalize it. They print trillions, call it stimulus, and act like it's a gift. Bollocks. What they really doing is robbing you blind. You work 40, 50, 60 hours a week, and your dollars buy you less every single year. Your rent goes up, your groceries go up, your energy bill doubles, and your paycheck still same shit, different month. Now, if you want to know the real number of inflations, let me tell you a real story. Back in the 2019, I was buying eggs for like probably 130 dozens. I remember it clearly because that same grocery store, that same brand, fast forward today, $4 for a dozen eggs. Eggs. Freaking bloody eggs. Not caviar, not steak, just eggs. And that's just one example. Gas, sky high. Electricity, don't even look at the bill. Healthcare, you better pray you don't get sick. So you're working harder, stressing more, grinding non-stop, and you still bloody broke. That's not bad budgeting. That's not poor time management. That's the bloody system screwing you. And here's the worst scam at all. They told us to save bloody money. Your financial advisor that drove price is always gonna tell you, put it in a bank, Be responsible, let compound interest do its magic. I tell you what, you'll be living in bloody poverty because you can't get rich like that. The game is rigged. What they didn't say is that while you're saving, the government is printing. They print 40% more dollars in just 2 bloody years and act like it was nothing. Then they guess like you with, oh, inflation is only 3.2%? Dude, your grocery bills say otherwise. I tell you a secret. And if a government want to rob you, and if, of course they want, they don't need guns anymore, you know? They don't need any this military. They don't need this technology. They just need to print 100% more money. And overnight, your net worth will drop by 50%. No alarms, no sirens, just a slow, silent destructions of everything you work for. Now, you might ask, if inflation is bad, why is the government letting it happen? Because that is the ultimate goals. The American government is filled and controlled by wealthy elites who work not for the freedom of the people, but to fatten their own bloody pockets. One of those brutal truths they don't teach in school is that rich people love inflations, not because we are evil supervillains stroking white cats, but because inflation rewards people who already own assets and punishes people who live on wage or savings. We own the stuffs that get more expensive whenever there is an inflation. Imagine this. House price goes up means that more real estate equity. Stock price goes up, often artificially. It means that my portfolio getting bigger. If rent goes up, it means I got more cash flow from my tenants. Inflation is literally like a bloody steroids for people who already have assets. Now, the second thing is that inflation erases debt. Let's say now you borrow $1 million to buy an apartment building. Years later, because of inflation, that $1 million will be worth less. Maybe the equivalent of probably $700K of money today. But you still only pay $1 million back with cheaper dollars. So inflation eventually shrinks our debt over time. The beautiful thing about being rich is that if you are rich, you can lock in low interest rate. Use that debt to buy more assets and then let inflation eat away what you owe. And this is why the rich getting richer and the poor getting poorer. And this is what most poor people don't understand, most Gen Z don't understand, and even most millennials don't understand. Because this is the rich man game. It's literally like time traveling your loans into weaker currencies. Because most people were never taught what inflation really was, how fiat currency work, why saving money in bank is a trap. But rich people, we know the rules, we know the games. Even if we are not part of the government, every single day we are working so bloody hard to protect our wealth, and if can, multiply it. We know the Fed will keep printing, and I'll tell you for a fact, there is no single rich person in America or even in this world who is bloody stupid. You know, we front run the system every single day. We think how to front run the system. We buy assets before inflation hits, then sell them when the price soars. And this is why a lot of rich people is always invest their money to get the first class information out there. Because now from inflation back then, you know, eventually you will understand and come to understand that the real definition of inflation, the real meaning behind it is that it's just a wealth transfer. The real meaning behind inflation is just a wealth transfer from the people who hold cash, the middle class, to the people who hold assets. The rich always own the assets. The peasants always work for the cash. So while inflation strangles the middle and working class, we only sit back and smile, watching our portfolio fatten up like it's bloody Thanksgiving. And that's why we love inflation. Of course we love it. We want inflation. It's a bloody wealth engine. And this is bloody why every single rich people that I know, billionaires, millionaires, always invest in first-class informations. While you keep scrolling on TikTok like a monkey every single day, wasting your time lying on your bed, eventually, there's always people like me, like all rich people out there, silently taking out your food, and eventually, you'll be living in bloody poverty. Right now, here's the thing. Right now, you're just playing in by their rule in a game that's rigged, but you need to swallow that bitter pill, because you can't choose where and when you were born, right? I was not born rich. I never was. But you can choose if you want to wake up, to learn or not. Because from my experience, life is all about choices. But remember, you're just playing by their rules. You take a student loan, they train you in a school with Keynesian economics, deliberately let you to believe that inflation is normal, debt is good, and money losing value is just part of life. They never taught you about Adam Smith, Austrian School of Economics, the concept of sound money, They told you to keep in bloody cash, save in the banks. You know, right now, if I see a lot of money in my account right now, I'll go nuts because I know that every second the money will lose its value, and I'll try to find any single way, whether it's whatever it takes, to protect my money from the silent killer. And I will try to find a way to make more money using that money in my saving account. So yeah, this system was never built to help you win. It was built to keep you in place and transfer your wealth to the elites. Control, predictable, productive, and bloody poor. But the good news is, you don't have to play their game forever. You can learn, you can adapt, you can build, you can invest in things that actually hold value. You can own assets, real ones, not just digits in bank. Because once you realize the system is a lie, that's when you finally start to live outside it.